everybody. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Vickie.
And we're the Drama Mamas.
Yeah, we are.
This week we are taking on Office Space.
Woo!
What? But before we get into the dirty details, we wanted to take a second and share with you that this is the week that we went live.
Yes, you won't hear this for several more weeks, but we went live this week.
And we're very excited about it.
We're so stoked.
Yes, we released episode 0 and episode 1.
Yes.
We've had a few people listen to it.
We've had a few
couple
reactions.
People subscribed. Yeah, a couple people responded with some feedback, which we are going to attempt to apply today and see how it feels and, you know.
And if it goes well, we'll continue. And if it doesn't, we'll probably go back to what we were doing last week.
Right. In the beginning, I was just like, oh, we need to have like at least 5 episodes recorded before we start releasing them. And now I'm just like, what if people don't like the changes we make? We're not going to know for like 5 weeks and they're going to stop listening.
They're going to be like, oh, great. Or, you know, like last week Vegas happened.
And the pop culture.
We didn't mention anything about that at all. And so we may come across as assholes.
Right. Well, yeah, we might, but we're not.
Yeah,
we are, but
we're not that kind of asshole. We know it happened. We feel bad for the families and the victims, and
it's a tragedy. I hate to make comments on it because it feels like words are never enough.
No.
But anyway, so we went live this week and we're really excited about it. We're happy to interact with people online.
We are. We're trying to reply to your messages and at the very least like your comments. At this point, it's very easy.
Right.
So, if you want to...
But don't be shy. We love anybody that... Even if you're just like, you guys suck, we'd still respond to that.
We'd be like, okay, well, you suck too. We might stalk your profile a little bit. Be like, what's up?
One of us, at least.
What's up? Not saying names, but it'll be me.
I stalk. I feel like I'm more discreet.
Yeah, I stalk loudly. Not a good stalker.
If you ever know that I'm stalking you, it's because I've made a horrible error in what I've said.
Right, or you I was in the drive-thru one day at the place across the street from where I work, and they have really tasty chili cheese fries. I'm just saying.
They're really good chicken biscuits.
They do. If you want to hit me up with one this week, that'd be great. But I was Facebook creeping. It wasn't even anybody that I knew or I had any connection to. It's just, you know, where you go to somebody's profile and then 10 minutes later you're like at their 5th cousin's.
Yeah, their great aunt's
boyfriend's.
That's dog groomer.
Yeah. And so I put my phone between my thighs so I could order, and my thighs sent a friend request, and I was like, no!
That's mortifying.
I was like, please let me delete this before they see it.
See, this is the kind of thing they didn't have to worry about in 1999.
They didn't! they just people watched at the mall.
Did you feel that really smooth segue?
It was really good. It was very really nice. Smooth. It was really smooth.
Smooth operator. In fact, it might be Santana smooth.
Now it's not.
Shut up. I'll edit this part out. All right, so we're doing Office Space. This is episode 6, The People versus Office Space.
Yes,
in
episode
which we
6.
Cure the case of the Mondays.
Oh my God. If anybody ever says to me, oh, it looks like you've got a bad case of the Mondays, I'm going to lose my job. Do not talk to me.
It's one of my favorite gifts
like,
to use.
My coworkers know when I'm in a bad mood, and they just leave me alone until I take my It's not. They just wait until I take my earbuds out, and then they're like, hey.
From afar, hey.
Yeah, from their desk over there, they're like, you having a bad day? It's okay. We've brought cookies. And I'm like, I could go for some cookies. Yeah.
Vickie like cookies.
Vickie like cookies.
All right, so anyway, please silence your cell phones. Your discretion is advised. And now your feature presentation.
Boop, boop.
Which may contain spoilers.
It may. you should watch the movie before you listen.
We're going to get started in just a moment.
Yay!
So Office Space is a 1999 American comedy film. Mm-hmm. That is what Wikipedia told me.
That's so boring compared
to
the last...
boring.
What did you say this was? Episode 6?
Episode 6.
The last 5 episodes, we've had like crazy long genres.
No less than 3.
They've been like sci-fi, fantasy, adventure, comedy, drama.
Right.
Everything.
I can't think of words. Like, I want to add to what
you're like,
doing.
Words.
And I'm like,
you're like, I'm Rocky.
So it was written and directed by Mike Judge.
Yes.
It satirizes the everyday work life of a typical mid to late 1990s software company.
I feel like that's a word.
Satirizes?
Yeah.
Well, satire.
I know what
I feel like I'm saying it wrong.
Is, but I don't feel like satirizes is a word.
I took a BuzzFeed quiz once and it said my preferred form of humor is satire.
Ooh.
Yeah. But I'm not a huge...
You could just say parody. It's a parody of Office Life. I don't think satirizes is a word. It's... The plural noun is satires.
The plural noun, yeah.
Satires.
We're looking for the verb.
There's no verb.
You know...
Latin is satura. Ooh.
Latin.
I'm saying that wrong. Please don't crucify me.
No, you say, don't correct me, I don't care.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was saying don't crucify me because it's Latin and Catholics.
Or the Romans.
Whatever.
The Romans spoke Latin.
Roman Catholics.
And crucified people.
What the fuck ever. I don't give a shit. Don't correct me. I don't care.
Verb. Third person present. Satirizes. Deride and criticize by means of satire.
Satirizes.
It's on the internet, so it's real.
It's there.
We're wasting time.
We are. Aristophanes satirized the lack of respect for the laws. Okay, yeah, I'll take it. Whatever. It just sounds weird.
Yeah, I agree. So it was written and directed by Mike Judge. Oh, sorry.
She's just trying to play footsie with me, you guys. We've only been working together for 3 weeks.
It's based on Judge's Milton cartoon series and was his first foray into live-action filmmaking and his second full-length motion picture release following Beavis and Butt-Head Do America.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Judge has 17 writing credits on IMDb. This is his 9th. Although he did write a short by the same name prior to this, and he's done several shorts, in fact. So before this, the notable work that I have listed, he worked on SNL for a very small bit. I want to say it was like 3 episodes. And he wrote Beavis and Butthead.
Beavis and Butthead.
He wrote Beavis and Butthead and worked on the video games for Beavis and Butthead.
Okay. I didn't know video games existed. I know video games exist, but I didn't know Beavis and Butthead.
Right, I didn't know there were Beavis and Butthead games. Like, what is the concept of that game? I want to know?
Wipe TP off your bunghole. That's it.
After Office Space, he wrote Idiocracy, King of the Hill, Beavis and Butthead again, and Silicon Valley.
Okay.
Directing, he has 16 directing credits. Before this, he had done SNL and Beavis and Butthead. And after this, he had directed Idiocracy, Beavis and Butthead, Extract. So Extract is one of the only movies that I recognize that he did not write.
Okay.
And that's a Jason Bateman movie, and I'm pretty sure Mila Kunis is in it.
She's so cute.
She really is. I've been watching That 70s Show lately.
She's so cute.
Something that I thought was really interesting in his trivia on IMDb was that he received a bachelor's in physics from the University of California, San Diego.
That's crazy because you don't, there are a lot of actors and actresses who have degrees, but it's not necessarily a job where you think, hey, I bet they have a brain.
Right. Well, a lot of times it's like an arts degree, which is...
Right.
It's a degree, to be sure, but it's not like a science degree. It's different. It's kind of like when you find out the girl that played Blossom is like a fucking doctor. Like, she's not a medical doctor, but she's like...
She's got a doctorate.
She's legit. In neuroscience or something crazy like that. That's
insane. You don't ever, you just look at him, you're like, oh, okay, you're an actor.
Right, you make people say, ha-ha.
But you don't think about how long they have to actually study their lines and all this crazy stuff and whatever.
So the stars of our film, I only did research on Peter and Joanna.
Okay.
Peter is played by Ron Livingston, who shares my birthday.
That's June 5th.
June 5th.
If you guys want to send presents, don't send presents. Just send money to PayPal. And
Just
or
subscribe.
Whatever.
That'll
just
be enough.
subscribe. We don't, like, if you send stuff to us, we're not going to open it. We're just going to throw it away. Please don't send us stuff.
We were alive for the anthrax scare.
We don't
open shit.
Yeah, we were alive for the anthrax scare. It was... I was like a kid, and I was like, why are you guys acting so crazy over mail? You're insane.
So,
like, who cares?
Ron Livingston plays Peter.
Yes.
And
he's not ugly.
he's not ugly. And he does not look like a Ron. Like, it is blowing my mind that his name is Ron. Ron is, you know who looks like a Ron? Ron Swanson.
Yes.
He's a Ron.
Ron Swanson. He is a Ron.
Yeah. So, Ron Livingston.
A hard Ron.
A hard Ron. He has 87 acting credits on IMDb. Yeah, he works. This is his 14th credit.
Okay.
Before he was in an episode of Jag, which I am familiar with. I didn't watch religiously, but I know it.
Okay.
And he appeared in Swingers, which is the Jon Favreau and Vince Vaughn movie.
Yes, I've not actually watched that, but I remember seeing...
I've watched it, but I don't remember anything about it.
Yeah, I don't...
So
Whatever.
Since he was in Band of Brothers, which was a miniseries, he played Jack Berger in Sex and the City. That was a boyfriend of Carrie's that broke up with her via a Post-it note.
How are you gonna do that? That's, like, really...
People that don't like confrontation, I guess.
I don't give a shit if you don't like confrontation. If you don't have the balls to tell somebody, hey, this isn't working out for me, you don't need to be in any relationship with anybody ever.
I would say that a Post-it note is better than ghosting. So, all right, is that the right term now? I feel like ghosting has taken on a different definition. The fadeaway.
The fadeaway. I think ghosting is still ghosting. Okay. Maybe we're just too old and we don't understand.
I am fucking old. He did Sex and the City. He was in Dinner for Schmucks, which was that Steve Carell movie.
Okay.
He was in 10 Years, which is a Channing Tatum movie with Rosario Dawson, where they had like a really intense romance, and then they haven't seen each other since they broke up, and they're going to their 10-year reunion. Okay. And it's like... It's not amazing. It's not groundbreaking, but it's worth a watch. It's got a lot of good actors in it. Yeah.
Do they have really good chemistry? Because he didn't marry her.
What? Oh, okay. I'm with you. Step up.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. You want to talk about chemistry? Okay, side note. His wife was in this show, short-lived show on, like, Lifetime or something. And it's called, like, The Witches of East End, I think, something like that.
I feel like that's on Netflix.
Yeah, it is.
I started to watch the first episode, and I was like, I'm going to watch this. I bet it's going to be good. Mm-hmm. And then it started turning a little bit of dark really fast. Mm-hmm. And I was like, because it was, like, pretty close to bedtime. And I was like, I'd better not watch this. And then I just never picked it back up.
Well, I didn't want to watch it because it looked cheesy to me. Like, all the posters and, like, everything that I'd seen about it seemed super cheesy. But I was desperate one day, and I wanted something just on while I was folding laundry. Right. And so I just pressed play, and she plays this person that's, like, kind of fated to be with this other person. Actually, they're fated not to be together, but to want to be together. Oh, like, I think it's some kind of curse. Awful. Anyway, they have insane chemistry to the point where I'm just like, you are married to Channing Tatum, girl. Right? What are you doing? What are you doing? Like, they have really good chemistry.
So it's worth a watch?
I mean, I liked it. It started pissing me off in the second season, and I dropped off. But I get really invested.
You do. That's true.
When shows when my characters that I care about start making really stupid decisions, I sometimes will just stop watching because it frustrates me. Right. So Jennifer Aniston played Joanna. Yes. She has 62 acting credits, and Office Space is the 21st. So she was she'd already been on Friends at this point.
Right. So she was super established. Mm-hmm.
So before this, she was in Ferris Bueller, the TV series. Okay. She was in an episode of Quantum Leap. She was in Leprechaun. She was in Object of My Affection and Picture Perfect, which were both Jennifer Aniston movies that I have seen. Mm-hmm. I've watched full length, maybe even more than once. Gun to my head, don't think I could tell you a detail about them.
Ooh, Jennifer Aniston's in on My Saved Your Life.
Like Picture Perfect, I think she falls in love with a cameraman.
Okay.
And he's like a really funny looking guy that kept getting leading man roles in like the 90s. And I don't understand how. Like, he is not attractive at all.
There was a lot of leading man roles in the 90s where now when I watch 90s movies, I'm like... You should take a picture of this and post it to our page later. Yeah. This is how
hard work.
This is how Vickie records podcasts. There were a lot of male leads in the 90s who I was like, when I look back, I'm like, they're not like, the 90s were like, those were the days of the soft bod. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, now everything has to be chiseled out and rock hard.
But, you know, there's a thing, like, this might just be me. We've talked about this before. Yes. But, like, when actors have chemistry with each other, it makes them more attractive to me. Like, there's this guy that he's been in a lot of stuff. Mm-hmm. And I have always been like, it's not believable that this hot girl that's got everything going for her is going to, like, jack up her life for this guy. It doesn't make sense.
No.
But he was in this show that was on VH1 for one season, which was a fucking travesty because it was so good. It was called Hindsight or something like that. It's about this girl who's about to get married for the second time. And she's having doubts.
Okay.
She gets in she falls asleep, and when she wakes up, she's gone back in time to the morning of her first wedding.
Ugh.
And it's in the 90s. And so, like, since then, she and her best friend have, like, fallen out completely. They don't even speak to each other, but her best friend's still her best friend. And she decides not to marry him, so she changes her past.
Right.
And this guy comes in later in the season, and they have really good chemistry. And in that instance, I was like, I get it. Like, I get why she would drop everything because, like, they had that thing.
Right.
And I've never seen him with an actress, like, it's a totally different thing. Anyway, I'm sorry.
You're good.
That was a tangent.
That's
so,
okay.
After Office Space, Jennifer Aniston was in The Good Girl. Along Came Polly, The Breakup, Marley and Me, The Bounty Hunter, We're the Millers, The Switch, Horrible Bosses, Cake, Office Christmas Party. Now, you'll notice all of these movies are movies that you have heard of. Yes. And do you know why you've heard of them?
Because Jennifer Aniston is in them.
Exactly. Like, none of them are amazing movies.
No, but Horrible Bosses holds a special place in my heart because it was mine and Zach's first date.
Right.
First official date.
So she was in one episode of this show called Burning Love.
Okay.
Which is like a web series.
Okay. Do they open up and be like, I'm a hunk of burning love?
No, it's called Burning Love because it's a parody, a satirization. Mm-hmm. Satire. It's a satire of The Bachelor.
Okay.
And The Bachelor is a fireman.
Oh.
So that's why it's called Burning Love.
Yeah.
Yep. So
it's definitely not because of all the STDs they're sure to catch.
She's in one episode, and it's the very first episode where all the girls come and meet him. Uh-huh. And it's really funny because, like, almost all of them are dental hygienists.
Okay.
And then there's, like, this little, I'm talking old, she's, like, in her 70s, hobbles out of the limo, and she's a retired dental hygienist.
He's really about teeth. He's like, hey, can you check my molars?
Well, I think it's making fun of The Bachelor because there's a lot of dental hygienists that are on that show.
I've not actually watched that. I feel like I'd enjoy it.
I watched it, like, when I would spend the night at somebody's house.
Right.
I would watch it because it was interesting to me, and a lot of people talked about it, so I like to be in the know. Right. And the last season I watched was a fireman.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's kind of funny.
And you didn't dig his burning love?
I mean, he worked out.
Okay.
If you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So, anyway, Jennifer Aniston, there's one girl that comes out, and she's in this huge panda costume. She's, like, got it over her head, and she tells him that, like, beauty's only skin deep, and she wants him to know her for her. And at the end of the night, he cuts her because he never gets to see her face. And when she gets in the limo to leave, they have the exit interview, and she takes it off, and it's Jennifer Aniston. And she's just like, I can't believe I thought we had a connection. Like, it's really funny. You should check that out. Everybody should check that out.
I will.
So this movie came out.
Remind me.
This movie came out in 1999. 1999 was an interesting year. There was the Y2K, and I believe Columbine happened in 1999. That's not actually on my list, but I feel
I
like
thought
it did.
Columbine was 98, but I could totally be wrong. I just remember fucking getting hit hard with bullying and guns and how school is not the place to bring them.
I remember that book that came out. It was April 20th, 1999.
That book was rough.
The She Said Yes book?
Yes. That book was rough. I felt bad. I feel bad for her mom.
So in 1999, hackers revealed a security flaw in Hotmail that permitted anybody to log into any Hotmail account using the password EH.
So my question is, was Hotmail created by a Canadian?
Don't they say
A?
A? Sorry?
I don't fucking know. I'm not Canadian. Sorry, Canadians.
The top song was Smooth by Santana and Rob Thomas.
Okay.
That's better. It's immediately recognizable.
It is immediately recognizable.
7
and if
seconds.
you don't recognize it, you're too young.
Right, you're too young.
Too young.
So the price of a movie ticket was $5 in 1999. Not a matinee, a movie ticket.
Like nighttime.
1999, we had a theater in town that was 99 cents.
Was
it might have been the $1.99 theater at that point, but it was.
It
at
was.
One point. No.
The Habitat for Humanity.
It was the 99-cent theater. I remember because. I hope my dad doesn't listen to this. When I was.
He liked our page.
When I was 12. I had a friend, and for her birthday, her mom was let her see a rated R movie.
Oh.
Yeah, and I stayed the night with her, and we went together, and she bought me a ticket to see it too. It was a scary movie.
Ooh. What movie was it?
If I was in for a penny, I was in for a pound. I also wore, this was like, the beginning of puberty, so I was starting to get boobs.
Right.
So like, my mom was getting kind of stricter about what I was wearing. She was already kind of strict, but
right.
I wore a one strap shirt.
Okay.
Yeah. She gave me a tube top to wear. Ooh. And I put it on, and then I was just like, no, that's too much. I at least need a strap. And so I put that on. But anyway, I saw Scary Movie at the 99-cent theater.
Wow.
Yeah.
I remember going to the 99-cent theater. I feel like I was in kindergarten or first grade. And one of the Toy Stories had come out, and we went on a field trip to see it, and it was so fun.
I liked that. I mean, it was, if I went there as an adult, I think I would notice more how gross it was, but as a kid, I was just like,
as a kid, you're like, yeah.
Yeah, my parents would get me popcorn there, because it's 99 cents to get in, so.
Right, so they're like, yeah, I can buy some popcorn, it's okay.
So in 1999, Big Mouth Billy Bass was introduced.
No. We go.
Take me to the river.
Travel back to 1999 just to stop the person who invented this thing. We live in the South. Big Mouth Billy Bass was a big thing.
Yeah, I still see them.
They're fucking awful. They're so tacky. Please throw it away. Throw the whole fucking house away if you still have that in your house.
3.4 million copies of the animated Disney movie The Rescuers was recalled in 1999.
Why?
Because it contained 2 frames where there was a naked woman in the background.
Who fucking found that out?
The paranoia surrounding Disney movies. There was like a dick on the Ariel, the Little Mermaid castle.
Yeah, there's all good girls and boys take off their clothes
in Aladdin. Yes. So dumb.
It says Sex in the Stars and Lion King. Who is doing this? Who is checking for these things? Stop ruining childhood.
Exactly.
Like, I didn't notice there were dicks. I didn't notice a naked lady. I didn't notice any of that stuff.
When I was a kid, I watched Dirty Dancing and didn't realize there was an abortion in it. Yeah.
I watched all these movies as a kid, and my number is low. My number's low. They didn't talk me into doing it, so fuck you.
My number is low. My number is also low.
Your number is lower than mine, and mine is very low.
So, male supermodel Fabio was asked...
I hate him.
He was asked to be on the first run of Apollo's chariot at Busch Gardens and got hit in the face by a goose while on the ride.
Good. Good.
In the face.
Good job, goose. What's good for the goose is good for the gander.
Y2K was a bust.
Yeah.
Shocker.
Spoiler alert.
A lot of people thought that most computers would stop working when the year 2000 hit because it would go from 99 to 00.
Right.
And that was blowing our minds, so I had to blow computer
We were
minds.
like, whoa, can't handle this. And now we're like...
I said computer minds like they have one.
Computer mind. Well, AI.
Right. Well, didn't Facebook... Was it Facebook that created the AI that was developing its own language and they shut it down?
Was it Facebook?
It was recent.
It was super recent. It was just a couple months ago. I think it was Facebook, and they were like, no more.
No more.
You're creepy.
Eminem's mom sued her. Oh, did you see Blade Runner 2049 yet?
No. I've not seen the original.
We should do an episode where we watch Blade Runner and then Blade Runner 2049 together.
Okay.
And do an episode.
Like live?
No.
Okay. I was about to say, I don't know that I'm going to be very good, like, during.
Right. It's going to be a lot of, whoa.
I was like, oh. Well, okay.
Blade Runner 2049 has an interesting plot around like AI and like how real is it and feelings and...
Well, I'm down with it. You should go see it. I mean, I guess by the time this is posted, it's probably going to be out of theaters, but...
You should still see it.
It just came out last week, and I'm in a fantasy movie league, and I'm banking on it this week.
It's really good. So Eminem's mom sued her own son for $10 million for slander on the album The Slim Shady LP, and she was awarded $1,600.
Wah, wah.
Wah, wah. Swing and a miss. In the 1999 movie The Matrix, Neo's passport expires on September 11th, 2001.
So, do you think that the fucking terrorists are just like crazy, big, huge Matrix fans? Or that's just a coincidence? Or is there really some fucking whatever behind the conspiracy theorists and jet fuel doesn't melt steel beams?
I don't believe in the conspiracy theories, but I haven't looked into them that much. So, anything is possible.
You could be wrong.
Right, exactly. I could always be wrong. I
Okay.
rarely am.
Okay.
But I could be.
That's fake news.
Matthew McConaughey. Matthew McConaughey was arrested after police allegedly found him dancing naked and playing bongo drums in his house.
So why is that like, if I'm in my own house and you come and arrest me because I'm naked and playing bongo drums, fuck you, man.
He paid a $50 fine for disturbing his neighbors. My theory is that he was banging on them drums, being loud, but his blinds were closed. See, that is disturbing the peace. If they were open, that's a show.
Well, it would be something.
Pop some popcorn, sell some tickets, go with it.
Be like, hey, you want to come sit in my backyard? $20 a pop.
EA had to recall 100,000 copies of the Tiger Woods PGA Tour 99 as an EA employee hid an uncensored copy of South Park's Jesus vs. Santa episode on the PlayStation disc.
There are a lot of employees slipping things onto discs.
I wonder if this
not be there.
I wonder if this EA employee used to work at Disney.
Maybe.
Or maybe he went to work at Disney.
Maybe.
So JFK
He was
Jr.
like, I can't put a whole fucking video on there, but I can put some subliminal titties.
JFK Jr. Oh, sorry. I shouldn't say it with a smile on my face. JFK Jr. died.
Oh, they can hear your smile, Sarah. Shut it off.
JFK Jr. died in an airplane crash.
Sorry.
November 5th, 1999 was Burn All Gifts Day, when the internet banded together to put an end to the GIF once and for all. It did not work.
Yeah, no.
Vickie and I communicate almost exclusively with GIFs.
Yes.
Someone
and we
recently...
we know what the other person is trying to say. We're like, yeah, let me tell you. Let me tell you. I got a gift for that.
I got a gift for everything.
I got a gift for everything.
Someone recently made the comment that I had transcended from text and gained the ability to communicate solely with GIFs.
Yeah, some people are just like sending emojis to each other. We're like, no, that's not enough. We need moving pictures.
Next level. Next level.
If this shit doesn't flash at me, I'm not interested.
Oh, here's another point of contention that we need to address.
Oh.
I know there's somebody out there. I don't know who you are. But you're saying to yourself and whatever platform you're listening to this on, guys, it's GIF. It's not GIF. Stop saying GIF. It's GIF. And to you, I say, it's fucking GIF. You're wrong. I'm right. Get it together.
Let me tell you something.
Not jet it together.
Not jet it together.
Jet it together.
Let me tell you something, random internet person. GIF is peanut butter.
Right?
GIF is an animated fucking graphic.
Right. We are choosy moms. And we choose
choosy
GIF.
Moms choose GIF.
No, choosy moms choose
GIF. Oh, please don't sue us.
Okay. The Screen Actors Guild strike of 1999 prevented the use of live actors in advertising.
Okay.
Needing an advertising campaign, an insurance company turned to CGI to replace the actor, and the Geico Gecko was born.
Geico Gecko.
That is not easy to say.
No.
I said it, though. I said it smooth, too.
You did. You're like, that Geico Gecko. And he's still working.
Yeah. Yep.
He's still working.
And he looks better.
He does.
That's
he
when they switched, because Geico used to have the "We All Do Dumb Things" ads. Remember the cartoons? We all do dumb things.
Yeah.
They still have a couple of those. I see them every once in a while. I love that ad campaign.
Funny.
It's really funny. Until 1999, the state of Montana didn't have a speed limit on the interstate and instead encouraged drivers to be reasonable and prudent.
Can't we just do that everywhere now?
Everywhere. Right.
Like,
well, there are people that are not prudent.
Yeah, you know where those people need to stay?
Hell.
In the slow lane.
Oh, okay.
I mean, hell is fine too, but probably I'm going there, so.
I'll save you a seat. It's fine.
Thanks.
So the screenplay for 1999 Stuart Little was written by M. Night Shyamalan.
That's so surprising to me. Like, it's so far out from what I expect him to do that it just blows my mind.
Oh, I'm 100% with you. I'm wondering if 1999 was like an amazing year for him because The Sixth Sense came out too.
Holy shit. In 1999, I definitely thought that movie was older than that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, not much older, but I thought it came out in like 94 for
I
some
saw
reason.
it in theaters, so I know that it wasn't too...
Early?
No, not too late because my mom stopped going to theaters and she was with me when I saw it.
Oh.
Marilyn Manson wrote a Rolling Stone article in 1999 after the Columbine shooting and blamed the media for making the murderers celebrities.
Yeah, guess what the media is still doing?
Yeah.
He's not saying anything about it anymore either. He's like, fuck it, I give up. The media is the fucking media.
Well, they also tried to make him the bad guy. They're just like, oh, these kids listen to Marilyn Manson.
Right.
It's like, yeah, so do millions of other people.
Right. I listened to Marilyn Manson when I was a fucking pre-pubescent teenager and also when I was a post-pubescent teenager. And I've never shot anybody. I've shot a gun several times.
Shot the bird.
I've never even shot a bird.
No, like... shoot
shot the bird. I've done that several times. But I listen to Marilyn Manson, and I've not killed anybody. And you know what? I've played a lot of video games, too, while we're on the subject, and I've not killed anybody. So...
There you go.
Let's just leave it at I've not killed anybody. And I've done a lot of the things that are blamed for people killing people. So there.
So there.
So there.
That's
my final word.
So the... some trivia on the movie, I don't have a ton, but the iconic red stapler, coveted by Milton, was created for the film by the prop department. They needed a bright enough color to be seen on film and chose red. After the film was released, Swingline began to receive requests from customers for red staplers. Having stopped offering red several years before, they made the decision to start offering it again.
That's a really good decision. I bet that their fucking profits increased 100-fold.
Oh, yeah.
After this movie. Like, they fucking blatantly name drop. They're like, yeah, we switched to this other fucking stapler.
Swingline should have paid to be in the movie. Because they got an endorsement, because he said the new brand that they were using jams more.
Sucks. Mm-hmm. They're like, this one sucks. I've got a Swingline. it's not read, but it can staple up to 70 pages. What up?
During the infamous smashing of the copier scene, Peter never actually strikes the device.
Which is so funny to me. Like, that whole scene, I just felt in my soul. Because I've got a printer on my desk, and sometimes it acts like a piece of shit. And I'd love nothing more than to beat it with a fucking baseball bat. Like, that would be amazing.
Peter is our main character.
Yes.
And he is living an unhappy life.
Yes.
He hates his job. His girlfriend is cheating on him.
Yes.
He's just not happy.
No. He's miserable. He says at one point in the movie, every day is worse than the last. Every day is the worst day of my life.
Yeah. And the guy's so like, sad. So today is the worst day of your life. He's like, yes.
And he's like, oh, really? It was the worst day of the hypnotist's life.
Well, the last day, if nothing else.
The last day.
His girlfriend takes him to a hypnotist who puts him into a relaxed state.
Yes.
And before he brings him out, he keels over. Leaving Peter in this euphoric, non-committal, not giving a shit space.
Yes.
Okay. So that's the inciting incident of our story.
Right.
So then he begins to live his life with no worries.
No worry. He does not care about fucking anything.
He has no fucks to give.
He's supposed to work Saturday and Sunday. His fucking boss calls him 17 times. Mm-hmm. Listen up, Lumberg. If you would fucking get to work on Saturday and do some fucking work instead of calling somebody 17 times, maybe your employees wouldn't need to come in and work on Saturday and Sunday. How about that? How about you get your fucking work done in your 40 hours and quit slacking?
It is a little odd that they are having mandatory... I mean, it sounds like mandatory overtime. They're having mandatory overtime, but they're also downsizing.
Yeah. They're like, we'll just hire... So their thing is that they're going to fire their veterans... Mm-hmm. who are making too much money
for outsourcing and
to outsource to people who just graduated college who are like, oh yeah, $10 an hour, that's perfect. Well, it's $19.99, so $10 an hour is a lot.
The minimum wage was like $5.50. I should have looked that up.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah. Peter is living a relaxed life. The environment at work is tense because they have consultants there that are looking to downsize. So everyone's interviewing for their own job. Some people are taking it better than others.
I would not do well. I wouldn't. I don't do well when I'm interviewing for a new job. If I had to interview for the job I already have, I would just be sweating bullets. I would be like, I can tell you what I do, but like... Can I just show you so you understand why it takes so much time to do this?
I feel like I would do better interviewing for a job I already had than I would for a job I'm wanting to get because I don't do well. I'm very self-conscious about the impression that I make, and so I withhold a lot. Like I am quiet and I am reactive instead of proactive.
Oh, no.
Whereas if I'm in the position and I'm comfortable in the position, I have a lot more confidence.
Sure. But I have really bad anxiety. Mm-hmm. And so even if it's something I already do and I know I do it well, I find it hard to put into words what I do and why what I do is important. Mm-hmm. Whereas when I'm interviewing for a new position, I don't have to explain what I do. I don't have to explain to them what's expected of me. They tell me what's expected of me. Mm-hmm. I get to an interview, and you guys can take this. Here's my bit of life advice. I get to an interview, 15 or 20 minutes early. I sit in my car for a good 5 or 10 minutes because, you don't want to get there too early.
Right. You don't want to be that guy.
And I fucking look at myself in the mirror, make sure my makeup's on point, make sure my hair's not standing up. And I'm like, Vickie, you are the best person for this job. You are amazing. Nobody's better than... Basically, I lie to myself for 5 or 10 minutes. And I go in there with such a big fucking head... Mm-hmm. That they're like, oh shit, this girl thinks she owns the place. She is super confident. She knows what she's doing. She knows what she wants. And really inside, I'm like, do you like me? Do you like me? Please tell me.
Luke is really good in interviews.
Can you just tell me? I'm a very complex creature. I'm like, I have crippling anxiety, but I'm also full of myself. It's awesome being me. Please don't. Don't try to do it without medication. You'll cry a lot.
So, people are interviewing for their own jobs.
Yes.
And Peter doesn't give a fuck.
No.
And they really like that.
Yeah. What the fuck?
So then he leaves from there. He asks out the girl he likes.
Yes.
Jennifer Aniston, who wouldn't.
At first, she's like, I don't think I'm allowed to eat with you. And then he's like, okay, well, I'm going to go get this table next door. Mm-hmm. And if you want to join me, that's cool. And if you don't, that's cool too. But I'll be over there.
So they go on a date and they agree to date again, to see each other again.
Because they both like kung fu.
Right. I love they zoom in on her face.
Yeah, she's like, oh, I love kung fu too. And then they're like both the same. They name the channel it's on. It's like channel 39 or something. Mm-hmm.
The Bobs tell...
yes, both of the interviewers...
The
consultants are named Bob.
So they tell Lumbergh that they think that Peter is management material. He disagrees, and they kind of flip the script on him and start asking how much time he spends on the TPS report.
Yes. They say he's a straight shooter with upper management written all over him. Mm-hmm. I don't care if you tell my boss that, but if you think that, could you tell me? Like, just tell me. Be like, God, you are great, because... Like I said, 2 seconds ago, I have really bad anxiety, and even when I know I'm doing a good job, I worry that I'm not doing a good enough job.
It's always good to hear it.
I'm like, can you pat me on the back, please? I need kudos. Please.
So then Peter comes back to work. He takes off the handle. He's feeling good.
He takes off a lot. He's like,
he breaks down his cubicle. I'm gonna
do some fun stuff.
We kind of just get a montage of him living life. Like, he's dating Joanna, and they're going out with Lawrence, the next door neighbor, and
who's hilarious.
Yeah, he guts a fish on his desk.
Yes, that's disgusting.
He tells Lumbergh basically to fuck off because he has a meeting with the Bobs.
And Lumbergh's like, I didn't know you had a meeting. And then he's like, yeah, they called me.
At home. So Lumbergh, I think it's getting under his skin because he kind of picks on Milton a little bit.
Yes.
And tells him to move desks against the wall.
Yes.
So.
And Milton's like, oh!
Yeah, he says no. He says no, and he doesn't move because Lumbergh says they're making room for the boxes. Yes. And the next time you see Milton, there are all these boxes in his. He's just like, fuck you.
In the same spot. He's like, mm-mm.
So then Peter talks Samir and Michael into enacting the plan that they have been talking about, but never actually, I think, had any real...
intentions?
Yeah, of doing it, because Michael says because he has a good job, but Peter was just offered a promotion and told that Samir and Michael are going to be let go, and so they're just like, okay, let's do it.
Right. He's like, you guys realize that after tomorrow...
And the plan
you don't have a good job.
The plan is... When there are remainders of a penny left over, they round them off and they just go into the ether. They're meaningless because they're just portions of a penny.
Right.
So instead of just having them rounded off, what they're doing is depositing those portions of a penny into an account. And so over thousands of transactions, that will add up to real money.
Right. It's going to take time.
Yeah, at the time, it's not real money.
Right.
But...
And Samir's not down at first. He's like, that's illegal. And Peter's like, illegal? Samir, this is America. Brad, that doesn't make it legal. It's still against the law. You're still fucking...
There are some really creative ways to steal in America that are legal.
It's not extortion.
No, that's not it. It's...
fuck.
My mom used to make the joke, it's not called this, it's called creative accounting.
There's a lot of fucking stuff that's not
I thought it was
good
a C
on
word.
Google. Is it a C word?
It might be
What the fuck is it called? Now it's going to bother me.
Yeah,
Watch.
it's going to... yeah.
Let me call my husband.
I might leave this part in.
He's got this
What
terrible...
the fuck?
I know. He used to have a ringback tone, and then he let it go, and now it's this. Hey.
Hey, what's
What is that word when you're stealing money from work? What's that charge? Embezzlement. Oh. You're my hero. Love you, bye. He's playing games. He doesn't have time for me.
Then we see the montage of them enacting the plan. Peter is in a suit.
And he is wearing that suit. The suit is not wearing him.
Yes, he is wearing it out.
Yes, and it is not bad.
They talk to Drew, and he tells them how Tom tried to kill himself and then ended up backing up into traffic, and he's getting a huge settlement, and he's having a barbecue, and he invites them to the barbecue.
Yes, it was like a 7-figure settlement.
Yes, and when they leave, it's Samir and Michael's last day, and they're upset that they got escorted out with security, but Peter has taken the printer. They jack up the printer.
Yes. It's beautiful.
Peter takes Joanna to the barbecue. He tells her about the plan. She says that it's stealing. He tries to explain that it's not.
It's not stealing.
And she's like, no, it is. At the cookout, Peter finds out that she fucked Lumbergh, and he cannot let it go. They fight when they leave, and she gets out of the car. She makes him pull over, and she gets out of the car. I feel like we're going by the play-by-play, but basically, they get away with it.
Yes.
Like, they get $300,000, and then he decides he's going to take the fall for it.
Yes.
He admits it, but before anybody can read his letter and get the checks...
Milton breaks into the office, and he's like, I'm going to get my fucking red stapler back.
He walks in. It's not locked. He walks into... He's at Lumbergh's desk, and his secretary keeps telling him to come back later.
Yeah, she's
and
like, Mr.
he's
Lumbergh
concerned because he's not getting his checks.
Right.
And he just goes in there, he gets his red stapler back, and then he burns down the building, and presumably with the checks and the confession inside. So Peter, Samir, and Michael get away with it.
Yes.
And then it shows the, in the not so near future, and not so far future either, that Peter is working construction with Lawrence.
Yes.
He seems much happier.
Much happier.
I don't know if he's still hypnotized or not. Somebody could snap their fingers.
Right. Samir and Michael are at
another corporation.
Yep.
And they offer to get him a job. He's like, no, I'm good.
He's like, yeah, I'm kind of enjoying what I'm doing right now, actually.
And he's with Joanna. He mentions her.
Yes.
And so he's just in a happier place doing construction.
Yes.
This is a very quotable movie.
It's super quotable.
And it has very funny and relatable interactions.
If you have ever worked in any kind of office capacity ever, this is going to speak to you in some way.
Deeply.
And it doesn't matter what way it speaks to you, but it's going to speak to you. You're going to be like, oh, I felt this in my soul. I was like, oh, I don't completely hate my job, but
I get it.
So much of this is relatable. I'm probably like old Michael Bolton over there.
Very angry.
I'm like, oh, I'm just trying to do my work and get noticed.
Are you sure you're not more like Tom?
No, I like doing my work. Like, I do the work. I actually do stuff. I don't have people doing it for me. I'm not that high up. I'm not high enough up to be like him.
A lot of people like to talk like Bill Lumbergh. Like, they don't necessarily say the same things that he says, but they like to reference this film by saying, yeah, if you could do that, that'd be great.
There are a lot of memes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. A lot of memes.
So many.
Milton is an interesting character.
He's
pivotal. Like, you cannot take Milton out of this film.
No.
But he's got such a small little...
It's a very small part.
Have you ever seen this actor in anything else?
No.
Okay, he's like a character actor. He just like picks these small roles that have a big impact.
Right.
And, for example, he's been in a million things. He was in True Blood.
Really?
He plays this like closeted vampire, closeted gay.
Oh, so he's like double closeted.
Yes.
Jesus.
Yeah. And he always plays someone completely it's like when you see him, you don't know what he's going to be. He plays this judge in Justified, which everyone should watch because Timothy Oliphant is amazing. He's got the V.
Oh, okay.
So he plays this judge in Justified who likes to only wear a Speedo under his under his robes. Yeah, legit. Like, that's and hilarious. He's in a couple of episodes. There's a really funny episode that starts with, it looks like a hooker is sucking him off. But what's actually happened is that he's had death threats as a judge, and someone left a snake in his bed, and when he crawled in, it bit his inner thigh, and she was sucking the venom out. But like, he's very brash in that. He's very like straight shooter, and the opposite of Milton. He has an abundance of confidence and power. But anyway, he's interesting. It's almost like he's unrecognizable. Yeah. Because without those thick glasses and the mumbling voice and the tie with the short sleeve Oxford shirt, it's like,
who is this?
Yeah, who are you?
I like that about an actor, though, because there are so many there are so many actors or actresses like Jen Aniston, for example, who you see very similar roles out of time and time again. They get typecast. That's where they're at. And
now, if you've perfected that role,
yeah, no, go for it. You do.
Because there are some people where it's just like, okay, no, you should be playing this role. Yeah, this is all you should ever play.
Definitely.
But not everyone does that.
People who are chameleons and can play all kinds of different roles, that's incredible.
I agree.
I feel like that's true talent. You're not just playing who you are in real life.
Right.
Not saying that Jennifer Aniston is really like how she is in her movies. I don't know her. She could be totally opposite. This could be real acting, guys.
There's a really funny interaction at the beginning of the movie where they're talking about the hypnotist, and Peter is discussing it with Samir and Michael. Yes. And he says, I think it might really work. He did help Anne lose weight, Anne being his girlfriend. And Samir says, Peter, Anne is anorexic. And he's like, yeah, I know. He's really good. Which that I thought it was funny enough to type it.
I think it's, I mean, there's nothing funny about those diseases, but it's kind of funny.
There are a couple of things that were, it's really easy to get hung up on like what's politically correct and what's insensitive. Right. And especially when you're watching a movie that's, a little dated.
Bit older, yeah.
Yeah, like this is an old movie. No. It's not in black and white or anything, but like there's been a lot of shit that's happened between now and 1999.
Been 18 years.
Yeah, like an adult. A whole adult.
Yeah. I don't like it. No.
This movie could vote.
Oh, God.
And buy cigarettes and enlist. All those things.
Great.
So, great. You're always going to find something that's like an off-color comment that makes you just go,
yeah, you're like, that's
even when we watched Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, that movie was made in 2005, and there were a couple of things where I was just like,
there were some things said that we're like, we're not going to say this, but if you watch the movie, you'll know what we're talking about.
And there was some slut shaming
There was
as well.
Some slut shaming, yes.
In this movie, I only really know, I mean, the anorexic comic, a little bit.
It's a little borderline.
Like, it was funny enough to make me laugh and not feel bad about it.
Right.
But I am married to Luke, so my standards are low.
Well, I mean, a lot of people suffer from it. I don't want anything bad to happen to those people. I want those people to get help and realize that, what they see in the mirror is not true and whatever. And I'd like them to eat. They can come eat with me as long as they're not weird. Like, if you can carry a conversation, we can go get a cheeseburger. It's cool.
Right. The two things that I noticed in this movie that just a little bit, like, made me cringe just a little bit. I don't like to feel like I'm being overly sensitive about things, but the joke that he makes about snapping and just shooting up the office...
Yes.
They make that joke twice.
Yes.
And I totally get it. Like, I understand he's under some pressure. He hates his life. He hates his job. But, like, the Las Vegas thing just happened.
It did.
And it's not like it's a workplace thing, but still. It's fresh in my mind.
Given the field that I work in, it's not so much my coworkers that I worry about snapping.
Right. Customers.
But I do worry that somebody will snap, and our corporate address is on the internet, and people get mad about what we do.
Yes.
And for the building that I'm in, you don't have to have a badge to get in, so that's kind of scary. I've definitely thought about, man, if somebody comes in, I'm getting up on my fucking desk and I'm jumping this cubicle wall because there's only one entrance in and out of my desk set.
That joke, like,
Scary.
the first time that
Scary.
it is scary. It really is.
It's
and
fucking terrifying.
Working at call centers, people will flippantly make, like, mild threats sometimes.
Yes.
And it is a little off-putting. Like, they tell you never tell them what city you're in. Never.
No.
Never tell the
give
person
them
you're on the phone
your name.
with. Yeah.
Never give them your
A
city.
couple of places I worked at, they wouldn't even let me give out my last name.
Yeah.
Now, granted, I was 18 when I started working in a call center. I started working in collections, so there were some heated conversations, and there were several occasions when people were like, and I'm going to need to get your name. And I was like, oh, I'll give you my name. I gave them my first, middle, and last name, and then I spelled it for them. In retrospect,
It's probably not smart.
probably not. Probably not my best
When
choices.
I first started working at a call center, let's see, Sage was born when I was 21. I was 22, I think, because I stayed home with him for a little while. Well, maybe I was closer to 23. I don't know. I was in my younger 20s. When I was working there, my husband told me a story about how somebody worked at a call center and found out, like, the name of the person that he was talking to and the city and stuff, and he sent flowers, and he, like, when she carried them out to her car, he shot her because that's how he knew who it was. And I'm sure that that's not a true story. I don't think he ever told me that it was, like, actual fact.
It's in the back of your mind now, though.
But it's scary. But it's always funny when you get somebody who's not from here, from the South.
Right.
And they're just like, oh, if they're not a complete pissant.
Well, my voice,
And
my
they're
phone
like-
voice
they're
is
like,
very
"Hey."
crisp. Like, I'm out of practice now because I stay home with the kids now, and I don't give a shit what I sound like anymore.
You're just like, Rory!
Right, Rory! My phone voice is very crisp. It's very, I don't really have an accent on the phone. I've been told by several people, like, when they ask, because I'll tell them what state I'm in, or I'll say the South, and they know, like, the area, but, I'll tell them I'm in Tennessee, and they're just like, oh, well, where are you from?
And you're just like, oh, here.
Tennessee.
I always just, when people say, where are you from? Because we moved a lot when I was growing up. And so I just say, around.
That's cagey.
I'm just from around.
So this movie, there's a lot of things that people reference about this movie. The TPS reports. Where was it that I worked? One of the places that I worked, either when I did sales or when I did collections, actually had a TPS report. And there were tons of emailed jokes about that.
I'm sure.
Yep.
I'm sure. Did you remember to put your cover page on them?
Exactly. Those were the jokes that were made.
Yeah.
And
did you get the memo?
Oh, Lawrence said something really funny toward the beginning of the movie where he's a construction worker.
Yes.
And Peter asks him if anyone at his work ever asks him if he has a case of the Mondays. And he's like, no, man. Shit, no, man. I believe you get your ass kicked saying something like that, man.
Like, don't ask people if they're having a bad day. Like, if somebody is obviously having a bad day, don't be that fucking annoying person. Don't do it.
Don't do it, man.
Don't. Just be like, hey, man, you look like you're having a rough day. Can I get you a coffee? Can I buy you a chicken biscuit? Yeah, buy me a fucking chicken biscuit. I will be your best friend the whole rest of the day.
Maybe a couple years later.
I may be. Like, you brought me a chicken biscuit to work one day, and here we are. We're still friends. What up?
Lawrence has another funny line where Peter asks him what he would do with $1 million if he had $1 million. And he says, I'll tell you what I'd do, man. 2 chicks at the same time, man. Oh, my personal favorite line in the movie, and I say it often, was I think Peter might be talking to Samir.
Okay.
Or maybe Michael. And he's like, they're like, what did you do this weekend? Because he didn't work.
Right.
He's like, I did nothing. I did absolutely nothing. And it was everything I thought it could be.
Oh,
I have said that.
I love days where I do nothing.
Right. If I don't even step outside, that's a good day.
Yesterday, this week was fall break. My son stayed with my father-in-law the first couple days of the week, and then I stayed home with him yesterday and today. I was home with him all day yesterday, and the only time I got out of bed was when he was hungry, because he's 5 and I've not taught him how to cook yet, or how to do much of anything in the kitchen because he's 5, and that's scary.
Yeah.
But other than that, we just laid in fucking bed all day. We wrestled, we colored, we watched a shitload of Clarence, which I hate.
Peter is one of the most relatable characters.
He's super relatable. Multiple times through the movie, I was like, I am Peter.
Right.
But there were also some points, like at the very beginning when they're stuck in traffic and Michael is hardcore white guy rapping. That is me as fuck. There are days where I'll be like, oh, let me hit some Waka Flocka. Oh, let me hit some Tupac. Oh, some Biggie, some Nicki Minaj, some Lil Wayne. And I'll be fucking hitting that shit. And I'll be like, what up? And then I'll be like, oh, here's a red light. Let me turn my radio way down. Like, the only part of that wasn't accurate for me was when the black guy started walking up and he, like, locked the doors. You know why? Because my doors are almost always locked. Because I'm paranoid. Because I listen to so many crime podcasts.
Peter also drops a lot of truth bombs.
He does.
And one of them that really is so true. It's so ridiculously true.
With you?
Yes. Like, it struck a chord within me where he's like, he says, when I make a mistake, I have 8 different people coming by to tell me about it. That's my only real motivation, is not to be hassled. That and the fear of losing my job. But you know, Bob, that will only make someone work just hard enough not to get fired.
Lose their job. Yeah.
Fired. Yep.
I'll fire you right now. You're fired. Lumbergh, I don't understand why Lumbergh hasn't already fucking fired Peter. Like, obviously, he doesn't like him.
Well, up until recently, he at least towed the line. He did enough not to get fired. Right. We don't really see a lot of that.
That's true. That's true.
And one of the Bobs, the Dr. Cox Bob, says, looks like you've been missing a lot of work lately. And Peter's like, I wouldn't say I've been missing it, Bob.
Hilarity ensues. They all laugh. It's so funny. Ha ha ha. If that was a woman, they would have been like, yeah, you're fired.
Did we already talk about Peter and his slut-shaming of Jennifer Aniston?
I don't remember if that was during this recording or if it was the recording I ruined when I pulled the plug.
It's all right. So, Drew tells him, that's the O-face guy, Drew tells him that Joanna used to fuck Lumbergh, and he cannot get it out of his head.
No.
And so he starts to kind of, like, chide her about it, like,
how could you?
Yeah, and she's like, that was 2 years ago. That was before we met. It's none of your business who I fucked.
It doesn't matter because he's the epitome of all things evil in the world, and how could you let him sink his dick into you? And
I'm 100, like, okay, I've met Lumbergh. I see his disdain. I understand his disdain, but I'm 100% team Joanna on this. Just like, fuck the fuck off, bro.
My thing is, like, first of all, it's the wrong Lumbergh.
Yes. This is all for naught.
No. Second of all, I personally kind of find Lumbergh attractive.
No.
I do. It's not even, like, he's totally sleazy. He's totally sleazy. I'll give you that. He's gross. He's evil. He's a horrible boss. But God, Jesus, he's ambitious, and that is hot.
You're crazy.
Boy.
That actor.
If you are ambitious.
That actor plays, he has a recurring role in The Good Wife. Mm-hmm. And he hooks up with Christine Baranski. I feel
like that's in my queue.
It's really good. You should watch it.
Okay.
But he is like this gun-toting, super conservative expert.
Really?
Yeah, they meet him
because much less attractive.
No. But he's like very steady.
Okay.
And she is super liberal, super anti-gun, and they have an interesting dynamic. Like it's very cute.
Okay.
But anyway, so anytime I see him, my first thought is, of course, Lumbergh, and quickly followed by the guy from The Good Wife.
I'm really bad at remembering people and roles and names, and so, like, I'll pin you to something.
Yes. You're the person from the thing.
You're the person that I saw in this one thing.
Mm-hmm. I do that.
And so, very few actors or actresses am I going to be like, oh, that's fucking whoever.
Mm-hmm.
I tried to think of one in particular just now and I couldn't. I was trying to think of, what's her name? Jennifer Katniss.
Lawrence?
Yeah. J-Law.
J-Law.
Yeah, I feel like we'd be BFFs.
Yeah, I could get along with J-Law.
We just go get some pizza and be like, what up? We gonna fall down some stairs? Fall up some stairs? It's okay, girl. I do that all the time.
She digs older men, too.
I do dig older men. What else?
Oh, I don't know if we said, but Milton gets the money.
Milton gets the money, and he gets a well-deserved vacation.
Yep.
And then he complains about the salt on the rim of
Well, they got
glass.
his drink wrong.
You did.
And he's saying, the person just completely ignored. Like, they listen for a second, just like everybody does, and then they just move on. And he ends by saying he could put strychnine in the guacamole. Which would be fine with me. I don't eat guacamole.
I don't eat guacamole. I'm not big on avocados.
I don't mind avocados. I like them in my breakfast burritos. They're tasty.
I wish that I liked avocados.
But I don't like guacamole.
I know that it's good fat.
Yes.
I know that it's good for you, but it's mushy, and I don't like that. Well, I don't like bananas for the same reason. It's mushy. I'm not down with it. The texture is not. I can't. Bleh. No, thank you.
So
don't send me avocados.
We attempted to try a different format. I feel like at points we fell back into our old rhythm.
We're working on it. This is the first shot with feedback.
And this episode felt weird, but I had fun recording it both times.
Twice.
So what's the verdict on this?
I would watch this again.
Oh, definitely.
I would definitely, for sure. I would definitely watch this again. I would suggest people who haven't seen it definitely watch, especially if you have some kind of office experience, whether it's call center. Yeah, waitressing. There's a good moment in there for waitresses.
I meant to say, when I very, very briefly worked as a waitress in a restaurant.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
After this, when we're done recording, I'm going to fucking be like, where did you work? I didn't know this.
Yeah,
I would have tipped you.
I was like 16.
Probably.
So.
You're like, no, you wouldn't have tipped me.
Mm-mm.
No.
And I was, a teenager. I was making my own money. I was spending money at Hot Topic.
Of course.
Like you do.
Where else do you
So I bought a couple pens and I was wearing them.
Uh-huh.
And this guy.
Oh, you had your own flair.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The semi-manager person, he wasn't like the manager, but he was like a shift lead kind of.
Okay, I got you.
And he pulls me aside and he tells me to take the pins off. And I was like, okay. Is something wrong? And he was like, I don't like flair.
He used those words.
He said, like, I don't like flair.
Shut the fuck up, Bob.
This was like 2004-ish.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay, so what's wrong with the pins? Because I didn't know that that's what he was referencing. But anyway.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yep.
Fuck him.
Yeah. I would also agree that my verdict is this is a great movie.
I think it's funny.
Yeah, it's funny. It holds up.
Yes.
Like, Office Life is still like this.
Literally, the only thing that I can think of that's extraordinarily different is that, like, Michael and Samir appear to share a cubicle. My cubicle is my own. Like, I have, like, people who sit close to me. We're in a cluster. But my cubicle is mine.
Well, I mean, the whole premise is that they're switching from 99 to 2000.
Right.
So that's a little outdated. But, I mean, that's...
Other than that...
That's a small detail in an otherwise very relatable movie. It's
so, like, somebody, no matter what you're doing, where you're at in your life, you're going to be like, oh, I identify with that character. Even if it's fucking Drew or that annoying-ass restaurant waiter kid.
Right, right.
With 37 pieces of flair.
Right. Oh, God. Like, if you want me to wear 37, just tell me.
Right. Tell me what exactly you expect from me. If 15 is the minimum, you should be fucking happy that I'm wearing 15.
Exactly.
Fuck you.
So who are our MVPs?
Peter.
Right, Peter is pretty awesome. I would say Lawrence.
Yeah, Lawrence is good.
He is hilarious.
Lawrence is super funny. I really like Lumberg. I kind of have the hots.
Can we go back to Lawrence?
Yes.
He has this really small but very funny line where Michael and Samir have just been there. They're freaking out because too much money came out.
Right.
And they're going to be caught.
Yes.
And
they almost are.
Yeah, they almost are. And he sends them away, and he's sitting in his apartment, and Lawrence says something, and he's just like, oh, he goes, hey, Lawrence, if you're listening, you want to come over and hang out? And Lawrence is like,
no, I don't want you to ruin my life.
He's like, no, man, I'm good. And then in a lower voice, he's like, don't want you to fuck up my life, too. Yeah, so Lawrence is my MVP.
I think that everybody in this movie, except for what's that fucking bitch's name? Redhead?
Nina?
Just
a moment.
Nina. Fuck Nina. Everybody else is great. Fuck Nina and her Case of the Mondays. Fuck the waiter boy with his Case of the Mondays. Looks like somebody has the Case of the Mondays. You shut the fuck up. I'll kill you. I won't actually kill you, but I might kick you.
Get your ass kicked saying something like that, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would smack the coffee out of somebody's fucking hands if they told me I look like I had a Case of the Mondays. You know what? I do have a Case of the Mondays. Mondays suck.
Yeah.
I have a case of the Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, too.
Fridays are good, though.
Yeah, after 5.
All right, so I think that's pretty much everything that we could say about this movie. Like, yeah, again, the formatting was weird, and our rhythm is a little off.
We're trying.
Yeah,
we'll see.
It's a good movie, so I feel like it'll be an okay episode of the Drama Mamas.
Let us know.
Yeah, let us know. So thanks for listening, everybody. If you've made it this far, you the real MVP. I'm gonna edit that out. That was stupid.
You're our ride or die.
Contact us on social media. Like us. Give us a 5-star review because, as we said in the past, it's 5 or bust.
5 or bust.
Email us at dramamamaspodcast@gmail.com.
We'll try to get back to you.
Right. When I say connect with us on social media, I mean Facebook.
Right. That's the only thing we've made so far.
Right.
If we get a big enough following, we'll adventure into other things.
We're probably going to discuss. We might have a Twitter account by the time you're listening to this.
We may.
It's very possible.
It's possible.
So.
#. Boo, you trash, you nasty.
Yes, definitely hashtag that. Do it on Facebook. Do it.
Make it happen. Thing.
You nasty.
You nasty.
So we're the Drama Mamas Podcast on Facebook. Next week, I think we're doing Heather's, right?
Heather's, yes.
Sweet. So, as always, remember to save the drama
for these mamas. That's way
What is it? Next week on the Drama Mamas.
It doesn't even matter if I didn't know what she was talking about yet. I would have smacked the shit out of her. I would have smacked the fucking taste out of her mouth.
Smack the dick out of her mouth because I'm pretty
Both.
sure she's had one.
Both.
I feel confident.